Hi. I thought I'd do a Facebook Live, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I haven't publicized it because I just thought, well, it's a sort of a last minute thing, so I thought I might just do it this way. Yesterday, I was talking about implicit egotism, which basically means we like things that are like us, and that seems fair enough. But today, I'm going to talk about the illusion of truth effect. Now, you might think that things are true or they're not true, but that's not the case. And it's going to blow your mind to think that even though you know something is not true, you still believe it or you feel like it's true. Anyway, the illusion of, hi Sandra, the illusion of truth effect. The more you're exposed to something, the more likely you are to believe it's true. Now, the reason I'm interested in this is how many times have you been down on yourself? How many times have you thought negatively about yourself? How many times have you given credit to the inner critic? How many times, hi Melanie, how many times have you done stuff that, or said stuff, or thought stuff that's really negative? Now, bear in mind, the illusion of truth effect is basically this. The more you hear something, the more likely it is that you will believe it. So if you're habitually down on yourself, if you're running negative thought processes in here, or if you're talking negatively to yourself, and bear in mind, you don't have to speak it out loud. You can think it, right? If you do this a lot, you're more likely to believe that the negative things that you say are true, even though you know that they're not. Even though you know that they're not. And so there's some interesting research, particularly now that we're doing the social media thing all the time. People are exposed in a research project. People are exposed to statements, a variety of statements, and then there's a probe test where you just sort of see the effect of exposure. Okay, and they're told that these statements are not true, and yet they still rate them as more believable than other statements. Okay, that is. So, the illusion of truth effect. The illusion of truth effect. I think it has a really subtle, profound effect. Now, the thing is, of course, because it's an implicit program, because it's something that just happens, we're not aware of it, it's potentially really quite powerful and destructive. Hi, Senga, and hi, Lisa. So I think from a self-help CBT perspective, we need to think about really being careful. I almost want to use the phrase, you can't afford the luxury of a negative thought, which I coined when I was doing the Blues Begun program 20 years ago. You can't afford the luxury of a negative thought because it just has power and influence that you're not aware of. And the more you do it, the more true it feels to you, right? You know it's not true in external reality, but it feels more true. So the illusion of truth effect. The second thing I want to talk about is this. I was on BBC Radio Berkshire on the 31st of December, and I was talking about New Year's resolutions. And the interviewer, I said, "What's your New Year's resolution?" I said, "Well, I'm going to put a video," and I sort of thought about it, but I wasn't quite decided. I'm going to put a video out every day for the whole year. And I thought, okay, well, why not? I'll do that. It sounded quite adventurous. And so today is the 31st of March. I have put a video out every day for 3 months. The majority of them are original, like just fresh, right? A couple of things have been repeated when we did the Stop Overthinking 7-day challenge. But I have put a video out every day for 3 months, and this is my last one. I've decided that I could go on for another 9 months, but actually, I don't think I will. We get used to it, so viewing figures are going down a little bit, perhaps, who knows for what reason. But I did it for 3 months, and so I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to put videos out now when something inspires me, or it's interesting, or comments from people on the groups, Mental Health Wizard, Panic Pit Stop, Anxiety Wizard, etc. If you have comments, then I'll certainly respond to them. And if it's an interesting comment, then I'll probably do a video. But this is my last regular daytime video. And it coincides with Easter holidays. So that's a bit of a bonus. And finally, all of my work now is online in the sense that I'm seeing all my clients online through Skype, FaceTime, WhatsApp, and Zoom, and all the rest of it, right? So anyone who wants to have a face-to-face contact with me will have to do it over the online processes because my office is shut right now. And the second final thing, the PPS, is just because we're locked in doesn't mean that we have to stop working on ourselves, right? I think there's nothing more important than working on ourselves. I was on the radio this morning and I was saying something along the lines of, it'll take a while for this all to settle down. And when it settles down, it's going to be kind of the new normal for a while, okay? And it's good to have routine and it's good to be focused on, whatever. But hi, Tim. It's important that we don't stop the bit of effort that we put in just to challenging negative thoughts, to managing our anxiety, managing depression. Now, my final word, in a sense, for this live is anxiety and depression, panic, anxiety, depression, stress, whatever you like. These are all options. That you don't have to have these in your life. And the reason you don't have to have them is because if you go through CBT, more or less it's cured, right? So that tells you didn't have to have it. You just have to do something treatment-based to get rid of it. So I think I'm going to relaunch Anxiety Wizard this week, probably, and it's going to have some new stuff in it. And it's also going to have some extra bonuses. So if you're interested in actually using the Anxiety Wizard program to really substantially change your life, then now is a great opportunity to do it. Anxiety Wizard costs less than a pack of cigarettes a week. Now, I don't smoke. I go, you may or may not smoke. When I used to smoke, they were $1.75. Now they're about 11, 12 pounds. Anxiety Wizard's cheaper than that. I can't, it's for a life-changing, the best self-help CBT program in the world. I think it's really inexpensive. So if you're interested in getting into Anxiety Wizard, I'd look forward to seeing you there. And I interact with people all the time. I'm texting, not texting, but comments and replies backwards and forwards. And I think you'd find it a very interesting thing, and it'd be a really useful way and a productive way to spend the time that we're all locked down. So, the illusion of truth effect, and this is my last video on the daily series, but I'll be doing other kinds of things, other videos, other kinds of things as we go through the rest of this lockdown period. So, please post questions, anything that you have with respect to mental health issues or psychology generally, because I do the whole range of psychology, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen.